Hi, I'm Paris, and I had a nice experience the other day, and I wanted to share that with you and explain about it in case you'd be interested in participating as well. It involves an app on the phone and helping people out.
EpicReviewGuyz.
The app is called Be My Eyes. It's free and it's available for iPhones and for Android phones, and it allows someone who is visually impaired or blind to borrow the sight of a volunteer for a few minutes to help them out with something that would be really helpful if they could see. When you're a volunteer and you have the app on your phone and someone who could use your assistance pushes the button to contact the volunteer, your phone may ring along with a number of other people's. Whoever answers it first gets that call, and you are connected with the person on the other end who needs some help. The microphones on both of your phones will activate so you can hear them, they can hear you. Your camera doesn't activate, but the person who needs your help with something visual related, the back camera on their phone will activate. So you can basically see what they're looking at on the screen of your phone and offer them assistance. Pretty cool idea, right? Now, I didn't find this on my own. Celine, who does the thumbnails for me, woman in Argentina, she was telling me that she had downloaded the app, had been waiting for a month for her chance to help someone, and no calls had come through. And then she was coming home from the grocery store, arms full of groceries, when the app started sounding that someone needed help, but she wasn't able to answer it before the call went on to someone else. So she was, I missed my chance to help someone. But since the call goes out to a number of people at the same time, somebody else most likely answered, and if none of the first group answers, the call gets forwarded to another set of volunteers. So the person most likely found someone to help them, but Celine was disappointed it couldn't be her that time. So she suggested I try it out, and I thought, well, that's a pretty cool way to help people. You're sort of an on-call volunteer. You don't have to drive somewhere to do the volunteer work. You just are at home or out doing whatever, and if you're available, you answer that call on your phone and you can help someone out. So I downloaded it, set it up, read how it worked, and then really didn't think more about it until the next day. My phone was making a strange sound that wasn't quite a ring, kind of like that Skype call sound. And when I looked at it, it was a call. Somebody was requesting assistance. So I answered it. And the person on the other end, I saw what they had in their hand, and they could hear me, I could hear them. A younger man, I believe. And he was asking me what the box of food was. So he didn't have the camera lined up quite on it, so I asked him to move it over some. And it was a pastaroni type food, something like that. And he said, oh, that wasn't what I'm looking for. Can you hold on a minute? And so then he got up and went down the hall. I know this because I could see on my screen going down the hall, and then went into the kitchen, which didn't have the light on, and opened the pantry and found another box. And because the light wasn't on, when he asked, what's this one? I had to say, I can't see it. So he went back out into the hall, and then I could see it was a hamburger helper cheeseburger macaroni dish. So that's what he was looking for. So he went back to the living room and asked if I would read the directions to him. So he turned the box over, but we had some issues with either he'd have the phone too close to it so that it was blurry, or pulling back too far that it was too small. I was trying to enlarge on my phone, but the app doesn't work that way. So I had to have him get the app at just the right point and then kind of scroll over to read the whole line of the instructions. But we got that down with a little bit of practice. And in the end, he didn't have all the ingredients to make it, so I guess he wasn't going to have that for lunch or dinner. He thanked me for my help, and then the call disconnected. So it was nice to have the opportunity to help someone. And it was kind of interesting working out how to get things in the right position for me to see and give him the information that he needed. It sort of reminded me of when I used to do technical support for Microsoft and for a gaming company. And you don't have the benefit of being able to see what the people are seeing there. You're talking to them on the phone, and you're trying to explain in non-technical ways, in a description that you think they'll understand what it is you want them to do, to remove something or try something else to figure out what the problem was on their computer. But you also don't want to sound condescending and making it overly simplified. It helps to be at least a little bit patient and to be willing and able to explain things in a different way if what you're trying to communicate isn't coming across how you intended. Now, some other things that volunteers are sometimes called upon to help out with is finding lost items, describing pictures, paintings, or pieces of artwork. Finally, if you have an art history major, you've found a use for it. Matching or explaining colors. Now, I've heard people getting dressed sometimes need help with the colors. Now, if someone asks, is this red or blue? I can answer that question, but if the question is, Do these two things go together? Probably would have been better to get a different volunteer. I have trouble dressing myself and getting things to match. Reading labels on household items, shopping in supermarkets, identifying expiration date on food packages, familiarizing yourself with new locations, determining if lights are turned on or off, finding out when public transportation is arriving or departing. To reduce privacy and security concerns, they ask that this not be used to help with identifying credit cards, reading credit card numbers, identifying mail, especially if it has your personal address on there, anything involving your passport, social security number, bank information, etc. They currently have 852,000 some volunteers and over 57,000 people visually impaired or blind who use this to request help. So most calls get answered in less than a minute. Some people, like poor Celine, waited over a month before her first call came in. They have volunteers in 150 countries, so in zip codes all around the world. It says in the app that they won't send a call through to you when you would likely be sleeping, so it won't wake you up in the middle of the night. But people can still request help in the middle of the night. What will happen is the call, if you wanted an English-speaking volunteer, the call will be routed to a country, England or Australia, where it is daytime, and so someone can pick it up there. These days in the news, you hear so much about how electronics, technology, apps are addicting people and interfering with the emotional and social development of children. So it's nice to see a use for this can help people out in a way that wouldn't have been possible just a few years ago. Again, the app is called Be My Eyes. It's available for Android and iPhones. I'll link to both of those down below this video. If you're the kind of person that doesn't mind when someone taps you on the shoulder and says, "Excuse me, could you help me out for a minute?" then I think this app might be the perfect opportunity for you to have more chances to help people out, which is great for you and great for them. See you on the next review.
Shopping is easy when you know what to buy. At EpicReviewGuyz, we give it a try. What does the fox buy? Nobody knows, but before he goes shopping, he watches